All right, welcome back to Mobility Duo. This is a page where my husband and I do everything for snowboarders. Mark is a doctor of physical therapy, and then I am a personal trainer, yoga instructor, and licensed massage therapist, and we do all of those things for snowboarders. Today we're going to be doing a 20-minute SNOGA flow, which SNOGA is yoga made for snowboarders. And it's a flow that I took through with my Zoom class that we did on Monday. It's an hour-long class that we did together, but I'm just going to take the main portion and show you guys. They learned something that's called the Dancing Warior, which is a combination of moves put together. And my goal for you is to be able to memorize that combination. That way you can do a small yoga flow and not need me or not need someone else to instruct it, but you can just close your eyes and go through it and enjoy it. It's going to be a lot of hips, it's going to be a lot of arms, strength. I think that's it. We are going to start standing, so let's go ahead, get on the back of the mat. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start standing in the back of the mat, and I know you probably can't see me up there, but that's okay. You will be fine. Go ahead, start with your feet together, and then just spread your toes nice and wide, and then place them down on the mat like you're gripping the mat. And then from here, engage your quads, engage your glutes, squeeze, engaging your core, rolling your shoulder blades up, down, and back, palms facing forward, and then pretend someone's pulling you up from your ponytail, tucking your chin just a little bit, standing nice and tall. Beautiful, mountain pose. And from here, we're going to take a big inhale, swoop our arms all the way up overhead, interlace our fingers, pointing our index fingers up towards the ceiling like we're shooting a gun. And then on your next exhale, just lean to the left, opening up that right side body a little bit. And inhale, coming up, reach up, 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 up. And then leaning towards the right, opening up that left side body. Beautiful. And release your arms all the way back down. From here, we're going to keep our left foot where it's at. Take our right foot, cross it over the left. So we have a little crisscross action. And then again, we're going to inhale, swoop our arms all the way up. And then exhale, lean to the left, getting that good stretch in that right side body. Beautiful. And inhale, coming back up. Exhale, release your hands down, bringing your right leg back, and then bringing your left leg over your right. Again, big inhale, swoop your arms all the way up overhead, interlace your fingers, and lean towards the right, getting that nice stretch in that left side body, and breathe. Good. Go ahead. Release, coming all the way back up, bringing your feet back to normal. And then from here, exhaling as we hinge at the hips, small bend in the knees, always, always, always. And then folding all the way forward, placing your fingertips on the ground if you can, bending your knees as much as you need to. And then inhale, flat back, hands on the shins. Exhale, fold. Again, let's do that one more time. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Beautiful. Again, bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands onto the ground. And then slowly start to walk your hands out, going into our first downward dog. So make sure your feet are shoulder width apart, pressing the ground away, ears are between the arms, and breathing here. Beautiful. From here, we're just going to go through a couple of Vinyasa flows. So the first one will be modified, second one will be full expression. Shifting our weight forward, core nice and tight into that high plank position. Hug your elbows in as you slowly shift forward, lower Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. So I actually lied to you and I just did the full expression. Now we're going to do the modified expression. So shift your weight forward, core nice and tight. High plank position, drop down to your knees, hug your elbows in. Slowly lower Chaturanga. Inhale, Upward facing dog or low cobra. Pinch your shoulder blades together. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Go ahead, plant your left foot down. Take your right foot up to the ceiling, tippy toes your left foot, and then shift forward into a plank, bringing your knee to your nose, and then placing that foot between your hands. And breathe. That move takes a lot of practice, that slow shift forward, so if you didn't get it quite yet, it's totally fine. It's our first time opening up the hips, so just rocking back and forth a little bit. Always breathing. Beautiful. So from here, we're going to press the ground away with our feet, and we're going to inhale, swoop our arms up towards the ceiling. Now, the most common mistake with this high lunge is people try to bend their back backwards, but instead you want to reach up, trying to get up as high as you can, and then sit lower into the lunge. Beautiful. Go ahead, drop that back heel down to the ground, going into a warrior two. So in a warrior two, the most common thing the thing we want to see is we want to make eye contact with your big toe. So that means your knee shouldn't be coming inwards. It should be going outwards and forward. And then the second thing we want to see is your back foot should be facing the sides of the mat. So your toes and your heels should be facing the sides. Arms are out straight, parallel with the ground. Opening up that back hip and breathing. Beautiful. Go ahead, windmill your hands down to frame that foot coming up into the back, or the toes on the back foot. And then we're going to bring this foot away and immediately go into a Vinyasa flow. So bringing that right foot back, core tight as you slowly lower Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. So now we're going to do the same thing with the other side. So plant your right foot where it's at. Left foot comes up to the ceiling. Tippy toes your right foot. Core tight. Shift into that high plank. Knee to nose. Place that foot between your hands. And breathe. Always breathe. And again, this is the first time opening up the hips on this side, so rocking back and forth a little bit. Good. Beautiful. Same thing as we did on the other side. So press the ground away with your legs as you inhale. Take your arms up to the ceiling into a high lunge and reach, 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 reach. Good. And exhale, go ahead, drop that back heel down to the ground, going into our warrior two. Breathing here. Again, make sure you can make eye contact with that big toe. The back feet, or the back foot, is facing the sides of the mat and your hands are parallel with the ground. And breathe, allowing that back hip to open up. Beautiful. Good. Let's go ahead, windmill your hands down to frame that foot again, coming up to the toes of the back foot. And then we're going to, again, take this foot away and go right into a Vinyasa flow. So core tight as we take that foot back, slowly lower Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog, and breathe. Perfect. And in this downward dog, just pressing your heels down one at a time. And breathing. And now we're going to do a very similar thing, but we're going to add on. So go ahead, take the right foot up to the ceiling, tippy toes your left foot, core nice and tight. Place that right foot between your hands. And just like before, we're going to inhale, swoop the arms all the way up to the ceiling into a high lunge. And then exhale, drop that back heel down to the ground into our warrior two. Now still make sure you can see your big toes or your big front toe. And looking back, making sure that your back foot toes are squared up to the sides of the mat. Perfect. And then from here, we're going to reach forward with our front hand. Reach, 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 reach. Flip our palm towards the ceiling. And then inhale as we take that right hand up to the ceiling. Left hand down the leg. Reverse warrior. Breathe here for a second. Really stretching out that whole side body. Good. And then as you exhale, we're going to take that right hand down to the floor. Left hand up to the ceiling, stretching out the left side body here in triangle. Breathe. Good. On your next inhale, coming back up into that warrior two. And then we're going to windmill our hands down to frame that foot, core nice and tight. And as we take that foot away, we're going to drop immediately into that chaturanga. So core tight, into that plank. Chaturanga, nice and slow. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now same on the other side. So left leg comes up, core tight. Tippy toes that right foot as we shift forward into that high plank. Placing that left foot in between our hands. And breathe. And then from here, inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, warrior two. Good. And now same thing. We're going to reach forward. Reach, 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 reach. Flip your palm. Inhale, or excuse me, exhale as we bring that left hand up towards the ceiling. Right hand down the leg. Breathing here, getting that good stretch on the left side body. And then on your next exhale, left hand coming down to the ground, right hand coming up to the ceiling into that triangle. And breathe. Good. And on your next inhale, coming back up into a warrior two. Same thing we did before. Windmill your hands down to frame that foot. Core nice and tight as you come into that high plank. Slowly lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And from here, just go ahead, drop your knees nice and wide. Untuck your toes, hips onto your heels, forehead onto the ground. And breathe in our child's pose. So stay here for a moment with your eyes closed and breathing. And I'm just going to show you what's going on, or tell you what's going on while you're chilling. So we already did the moves that I want you to learn, and I want you to be able to take away from this and be able to do on your own. So it's the high lunge, warrior two, reverse warrior, and triangle. And then going into a vinyasa and doing the same thing on the other side. So we're going to do that again, one on either side really quick, and then maybe one more time for good measure. We'll see. Let's go ahead, coming back up into that tabletop position, bringing your knees about hip width apart, tucking your toes under, pressing the ground away, coming back into our downward dog. And again, you can press one heel down to the ground and the other. Good. Let's go ahead, inhale, take the right leg up to the ceiling, tippy toes that left foot as you keep your core tight. Shift into that high plank with that lunge, right foot between the hands. And then inhale, swoop the arms up into a high lunge. Good. Exhale, bring that back heel down, warrior two. Inhale, reach forward, reach, 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 reach. And exhale, reverse your warrior. Right hand to the ceiling. Good. On your next exhale, bringing that right hand down to the ground. Left hand up to the ceiling into a triangle. Good. And on your next inhale, taking it back up into our warrior two. From here, windmill down to frame that foot, going through a vinyasa flow, core tight, slowly chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. And same thing on the other side. So left leg comes up to the ceiling, tippy toes that right foot, core nice and tight as you take that foot in between the hands. Good. Inhale, swoop the arms up overhead into that high lunge. Exhale, drop that back heel, warrior two. Inhale, reach forward, reach, 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 reach. Flip your palm. Exhale into a reverse warrior. Good. Breathe here. And then exhale as we take that left hand down to the ground, right hand up to the ceiling. Breathe. And on your next inhale, bringing it back up into a warrior two. And then again, windmill your hands down to frame that foot. Core tight, take that foot away. Slowly lower, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And again, just drop your knees nice and wide. Untuck your toes, sitting your hips back onto your heels. Forehead to the ground, and just breathe for a second. Before we do it one more time, letting your heart rate come down a little bit. Good. And let's go ahead, coming back up into our tabletop position. So knees are hip width apart, pressing up into our downward dog right here. And I'm going to give you less cues this time, okay? So let's go ahead, inhale the right leg up. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reach. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, triangle. Exhale, warrior two. Breathe. And then exhale, windmill your hands down, going through a vinyasa flow of your choice, whether modified or full version. Back into downward dog. Same thing on the other side. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, bringing it into a lunge. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, swoop forward. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Breathe. Exhale, coming down into a triangle. Then your next inhale, coming back up into a warrior two. Exhale, windmill your hands down to frame the foot. Core tight. Slowly lower, Chaturanga, going through your Vinyasa flow. Exhale, downward dog. Once you get to your downward dog, just go ahead for the last time. Dropping your knees nice and wide, untucking your toes, hips down on your heels, forehead to the ground, and breathe. Child's pose. Beautiful. Go ahead, slowly start to walk your hands all the way back up until you come seated on your heels. And that is the Dancing Warrior. Okay, that was it. I hope you enjoyed. That was the Dancing Warrior. So remember, it is high lunge, warrior two, reverse warrior, triangle, and then you go back into your warrior two vinyasa and do the same on the other side. I will put it in the description, so if you want to look back and do this on your own where you don't need anyone guiding you through a little flow, then this is perfect one for it. Ideally, that's where I would love to get you all one day, is where you can just get on a mat and move your body however you seem fit. Yeah, as always, if you do want to get into any of my Zoom 1 hour long SNOGA classes, just message me in the comments below and I will make sure to get you into one. And yeah, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and what else? Subscribe if you're not already doing that, and I will see you next week. Bye guys.